course. Happy to be here with you.
Yeah. So we have got, I have the great pleasure of speaking with Nat Kendall today, who is one of our lead instructors on the Balanced Rock Yoga Teacher Training faculty. And he's going to be offering a really exciting program in September around the fall equinox. Welcome, Nat.
Hi, Paula. So good to be here with you.
And Nat, I am really excited to hear what you're excited about. It's pretty one of a kind program out there in the world. And I'm curious, why have you signed up to teach this thing? What is unique and exciting about it for you?
Yeah, thank you for asking. I think anytime that I get to work with Balanced Rock and an organization like this that brings people out into the wonder and beauty of nature and brings the teachings out in that way, for me, it's always just such a joy to collaborate and create and share the teachings out in nature. And I'm very excited about this module as well. This one will all be about refining and honing your teaching skills. And we're going to do that through really discovering our voice through a lot of chanting, mantra, and meditation. We're going to also just look at sequencing and how to be an effective, skillful teacher. And I'm just excited to share that because anytime we get a chance to lift each other up as teachers and refine our skill set, then we're serving the world in a bigger, more beautiful way. So I'm happy to be part of that journey.
Oh, that's fantastic, Nat. And definitely there are a lot of yoga teachers out in the world right now. And I think that this program would help anybody kind of take their teaching to the next level. I'm curious, how long have you been teaching for?
I've been teaching for, God, feels like forever. And also, like I started last week, really, truly. But I've been teaching for about a decade now, a little over a decade, and it still feels brand new, which I cherish. I enjoy continuing to have that beginner's mindset, which I think is important for any stage in a teacher's career,
Mhm.
to always approach this with curiosity and a newness, not like we think we know everything, but just to keep our minds really open and expansive.
So would this be a program that's appropriate for like new teachers, folks who are new on the yoga scene?
I think this program would be great for new teachers, of course, those that are really looking to develop their skills as they kind of enter and step into this path. And for those that have been teaching for a long time that just want to shake things up and get some new perspective, get some new ideas, some new cueing, ways to use their voice in different ways, I think this would be really powerful for anybody on the teaching path.
Fantastic. And I adore the music that you put out into the world. I really love your voice, both in the teaching capacity and in the recording studio too. I'm curious if you could speak a little bit more to that idea of finding your voice or honing your voice and kind of how, I know it's probably a long journey, but how in a nutshell, like how did you get there? How does that continue to evolve for you? And what can folks expect in that realm at the training?
Yeah, it is a huge journey, really truly, to find your voice and find the authentic, vulnerable,
Mm,
connected part of your voice that lets you just lead from that place that is real and raw for you. And my journey with it really, I attest a lot of it to the chanting and the mantra practice. I actually felt very stuck in my voice. I felt fearful of sharing my voice in the ways that I wanted to. I didn't have the confidence that I thought I needed to really be a leader and a facilitator and a guide.
mhm,
And through the power of bhakti and chanting and prayer and mantra, I've been able to clear this area up so much
mm.
that for me, it just feels like a pure expression coming from the heart up and out for all of my offerings. So we're going to explore that a lot. We're going to work with chanting and mantra to help free up the throat chakra and our communication centers so that we all find ways that we can express our most powerful, deepest truths in the realm of teaching.
Yes. Okay, this is great. I'm like, I'm signing up. I want to be there. That's wow. Thank you. That's wonderful. Could you tell folks who may have not heard the word bhakti before, what would be kind of a short definition of what that is?
Yeah, Bhakti yoga is the yoga of devotion. It's the yoga of love for the divine.
Mhm.
And through this practice, through this expression of yoga, we try and really truly see the divine everywhere. So that
Mhm.
means we actually hold ourselves in that too. We see ourselves, we see our evolution, we see our voice, we see our offering to the world as an expression of the divine. And when we start to do that, then we can surrender some of the mind stuff that gets in the way of us expressing authentically what needs to come through.
Wow.
So, in a nutshell, bhakti is really just opening ourselves up to the divine so that we become conduits for that.
Mm, that sounds perfect. Like that's how I want to be teaching for sure.
Mhm.
Um, ha. So could you tell us a little bit about how this training might look or feel for somebody who's joining?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I've had the really incredible privilege of working with Balanced Rock for many years now. And as I mentioned, a lot of the trainings that Balanced Rock does involve a component of nature. So we'll be in Yosemite, which is such an amazing place to explore these teachings. And we're staying at the Yosemite Bug, and we'll wake up in the morning. We'll have a sweet morning practice. We'll probably do breakfast right after that. And then we'll maybe take a few hours to really dive into the teachings, have some good dialogue and conversation and exploration of the teachings. Then we'll likely break for lunch, followed by some nature time, and
Mm,
come back for a dinner, sleep under the stars, and just enjoy good company. The experience with Balanced Rock and what we cultivate is so profound. I think we're in an experience where we can limit our distractions and we can really be present with the teachings. So it's going to be so powerful. It always is.
that's great. And we've got a relatively small, intimate cohort, so anybody joining will get plenty of time, kind of FaceTime one-to-one time with Nat and with our other lead instructor, Heather Sullivan. So it's definitely a community oriented program as well. We're looking to build in quite a bit of spaciousness too for integration. People will be receiving a lot of information and doing a lot of that cleansing, that tapping into the love for the divine practices that you're speaking about, Nat. And so we'll also offer some space to integrate all of that and discuss a little bit about how people bring it back home, bring it back to their community to share it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you touched on that. It will be an intimate gathering for sure. You know, if you're looking for a setting where you get a lot of kind of one-on-one time with the facilitators and the community, this is going to be a very special opportunity to drop into that.
Yeah, and it's 30 hours. So that's all continuing education with Yoga Alliance. So folks will be getting that piece of it. For those who can't necessarily join us in person, Nat, is there any, I don't know, kind of fantastic little tip or trick or some little offering that you could share right now that might help teachers tap into that authentic voice just starting immediately?
Yeah, I'll share two things. The first one comes from my teacher, Rusty Wells, who would always remind us, chant before you can't.
Ah.
And that simple aphorism just always reminded me to dive in, to get curious about using the voice and opening up to these sacred mantras and prayers and find music that is in this genre that you can just chant along with. You know, if you're in the car, you're at home, open your voice and your heart through these mantras. It's a very powerful way to transform your voice. The second thing that I would share for teachers that are looking to refine their teaching, record yourself teaching a class.
Mhm.
Sit down, write out a 10 to 15-minute class, record it, and then go back and listen to it. You'll get some incredible feedback on, hmm, perhaps I'm using a certain word too often, or I have these little nuanced ways of cueing that maybe aren't working as well or as effective as I thought they were.
Hmm.
That has helped me significantly. And I've done this through recording audio classes to share with students. And I've had an incredible opportunity to reflect on what is effective and what is not.
Mm, great. And if somebody wanted to, let's say, find some of your music to tap into the power of mantra, how would they do that?
Yeah, the music that I've put out is really truly everywhere on all the platforms from Spotify to Apple to Amazon. So you can find that anywhere you find your music. Just search my name, Nat Kendall. And also, I host kirtans in the Bay Area. Kirtan is where we just get together and call and response chant.
Mhm.
And those I do about every other month. You can find those on my websites. And it's a really incredible way to come into a collective experience and uplift each other and our voices together.
Wow. Thanks, Nat. That's fantastic. Well, very, very much looking forward to having you out here in Yosemite. And I know that the students will benefit greatly from your expertise and from your gigantic, abundant heart. Uh, it's so good to be with you. Thank you.
It's great to be with you too, Paula. Thank you so much.